Hi there and welcome back to my channel. This is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video we're discussing A Murder at the Movies, written by Ellie Alexander. It's a cozy mystery. It's book 2 in A Secret Bookcase mystery series. I like this book a lot. It's very fun. I like the small town setting, small town vibe. I like the characters. The mystery is enjoyable. A lot to like in this book. I do recommend reading book 1 first though, because there are certain character development and certain themes in this book that carry on from the first book. So with many cozy mystery series, you do need to read them in order, but especially this book, especially with one story arc that's about a cold case mystery. You'll learn about that for the first time in book 1, and it carries on into this book. After we had the great success of the Mystery Themed Book Festival in book 1, it seems other people in the state and in the country know about that event. And out of the blue, our protagonist, Annie, gets a phone call from an independent film director. And this film director has just made a new mystery film and wants that premiered in the small town. And Annie's all excited. She's a bit anxious at first, but then agrees to host the event. And it's going to be like a film festival, not just a premiere. They're going to premiere that movie and then also showcase other movies, because this new movie is heavily influenced by Alfred Hitchcock. And they're going to showcase old Hitchcock movies at the same event. And of course, because we have this film festival going on and this premiere, we have new characters coming into the town. And the prominent characters are people who are linked to the film, like stars of the film, and people like director, producer, that sort of thing. And then we have a film critic coming along as well. And this film critic is just awful. He's arrogant, obnoxious. He puts everybody offside. And of course, because he's that type of character, we know he's going to be the murder victim in this book. And he is. And that all happens at the premiere of the movie. While all the lights are down, people are watching the movie, something happens, distracts people, we hear a scream, and we find out this person is dead at the movie theatre with a whole full theatre. And how can that happen? Somebody being murdered in a full movie theatre. And once again, Annie, the protagonist, chooses to investigate this crime. And then we have her old professor being the lead detective in the police force on this case, encouraging Annie to help out with the case, to keep her eyes and ears open to hunt for clues, to find out who's responsible. And this leads Annie to just go around town investigating people, investigating clues. And she also ropes in Pri, her best friend who works in a coffee shop, and she ropes in this time Liam. And in book 1, we met Liam, and Liam and Annie weren't on the best terms. It seemed like every time Liam was in a scene with Annie, he was being antagonistic towards her, making her angry. But in this book, there's a shift. Liam's being friendly towards her, and Annie comes to realize that it was just a rough exterior, that genuinely Liam likes her. And they're becoming friends in this book, and we get kind of hints that maybe something else happening between them. And that progresses slowly in this book. And as this mystery unfolds, I really enjoyed the way that Pri and Liam really helped Annie, really supported her in this investigation. And they're also kind of hunting for clues and hunting for snippets of information in their own right as well in this book. Kind of feels like 3 investigators rather than 1 in this story. And I wonder if that will play out in future mysteries in this series. I don't want to give anything else about the mystery away in this video, other than saying it's a good mystery, it's clever. We have good suspects, we have good red herrings, we have a great cast to just concentrate on in this book as well that are linked to this mystery. Characters in the town and new characters as well. The setting, again, a great setting. I really like the small town setting in mysteries. The small town setting in this book really feels genuine. You get the impression maybe the author spent time in small towns, because there's a real great small town vibe in this book. The characters in this book are good, both the regular small town characters and the characters coming in from outside. I wonder with this book though, so this book and the first book both involve crimes around festivals. And we had people from outside being kind of suspects and involved in those investigations in some way. In a small town series, sometimes you like to see those investigations and the suspects and the crimes just centered around people living in that small town. And I wonder if that will happen in this series in future books. I hope it does, because it just brings more opportunity to bring new characters in and develop known characters. So in my view, even though they're good mysteries and good characters, I like a focus on just small town characters in that small town rather than bringing in outside characters all the time. So on the cozy side of this book, and a couple of things are happening for key characters. So first off, Pri, and Pri is Annie's best friend, and Pri works in a coffee shop as a barista. Pri has a crush on this lady who keeps coming in, not very often. She seems like she's out of town, but she comes in this book, and Pri gets the courage to talk to her, have a conversation, and they kind of hit it off. And Pri finds out that this character is looking for property in the area, wants to buy into the area and move here. So that's quite interesting, and you wonder what's going to happen. You get the impression there's going to be a relationship there. And I wonder what happens in future books in this series. Then we have Annie and Liam. And in this book, you get a hint there's going to be more to their friendship, because now they're becoming friends in this book. And you get strong hints they're going to have a relationship as well. I hope with these things happening, that those romances, if they do eventuate, don't overpower other things in this series. It's still a cozy mystery series, so cozy elements are going to be there, but I hope the mysteries are still the showcase, and the romance angles don't overpower everything else. So Pri is Annie's best friend, and Pri works in a coffee shop as a barista. I like her a lot. She's fun, she's vibrant, colourful, great personality in the book, standout character, and she really livens up scenes when she's in scenes. One thing I like about her character in the books is she has an addiction to candy when she's under stress. I mean, who doesn't? How many people out there, when they're stressed, just reach for some sugary treat to try to calm them down? Seems like a coping mechanism for many people, and in Pri it's showcased very strongly, especially in this book. When it's showcased, it's quite comical, so I think sometimes Pri may be used as like the comic relief in the books, but she's a great character, she's got great depth, great emotional range so far. I really do like her in the books. Liam's an interesting character. It seemed in book 1 his sole purpose was to make Annie angry. In this book it changes. Liam shifts. He's compassionate, he's caring, he's friendly. Annie and Liam start to get along, and it makes you wonder what's next. This seems like there's a budding relationship there. We see a totally different side to Liam, and what I see about him I like. I like his character, he's complex. There are still a few moments where that obnoxious Liam still comes through, not as strongly as book 1. I do wonder, did the author deliberately choose that for Liam to make him, obnoxious, very obnoxious in the first book, but shift him slightly in this book, so Annie looks at him differently and the readers do as well. So I do wonder if that was a deliberate choice the author made between the two books, and if so, it was clever, I think, because it just brings different facets to Liam's character in this series. Dr. Colwell was Annie's old professor at college, and now she works in the police force and is a lead detective on the 2 cases so far in this series. As a character, she's interesting. In many cozy mystery series, the people on the police force are depicted as being stupid or incapable of investigating crimes, basically. This character investigates crimes in a different way. She's quite wise, she sits back and she watches, and that's not usual in a cozy mystery series, I think. She also encourages Annie to investigate. Again, not usual in a cozy mystery series. Usually the people on the police force dissuade the other characters from investigating, saying it's too dangerous, that sort of thing. But this character encourages Annie to do so. So that dynamic between them is different than other cozy mystery series out there, ones I've read anyway. It's interesting. It makes the character more intriguing, more engaging. And I wonder what's going to happen next, especially with the cold case mystery. Will that bring these 2 characters more closer together in the book? I enjoyed this read a lot. I had fun, got a great setting. I love small town settings for mysteries, great characters. I want to see more characters in this series. I hope we get to see more characters in future books. What I've seen so far, I've enjoyed. I rate this a 4 out of 5. I recommend this series a lot. I can't wait for more books in this series. I don't know when the next book's going to come out. I hope it's released very soon. On my channel, I review many cozy mysteries. If you enjoy cozy mysteries, check out my channel and subscribe. On the screen now is a link to another video for a book I'm sure you'll enjoy.